We're focused on science. We've done so much research on the aquifer and how it functions and how the pumping of the aquifer is affecting the springs and the water quality. We live in the fastest growing county in the United States, and that demand on water has reached a point where we're taking out more than is going back into the aquifer annually.
The hill country is kind of under attack from a water standpoint right now. It only has so much carrying capacity to be able to deal with these things, and I think we're really at the point where we're at that carrying capacity right now, and it's a downward trend.
In order to manage groundwater over a sustained period of time, it's vital that we understand the science and characteristics of our aquifers, how they are impacted by rain, how they recharge, as well as the impacts that occur during years of drought. In western Hays County, the Hays Trinity Groundwater Conservation District has been drilling monitoring wells in key areas. These monitoring wells gather data that gives us an understanding of how the aquifers are behaving, and this data is vital for long-term management.
Things are happening a whole lot quicker perhaps now. New people come in and it's a constant draw in the aquifer, plus the fact that we've had some dry weather. And the two things together go and aggravate the situation.
We're very critical, and the aquifers are not all that strong in the beginning as far as able to support a whole lot of demand. It's at the point where practically all the pumping has its effects.
Over the longer term, as you continue to draw out water faster than it's getting into the aquifer generally lowers. And it'll just continue to lower and lower. When it gets to the point where there's no longer the interaction with the streams dry up. I've been working with studies at the Meadow Center, and we've noticed the hill country streams have been, over the last 20 years, have been decreasing in flow every year.
These monitor wells like we're drilling right now, this is going to help a lot to be able to tell on a more regional basis of what's going on.
My name is Jeffrey Watson. I'm the hydrogeologist at the Hays Trinity Groundwater Conservation District. The reason that we do these dedicated monitoring wells is we'd like to have control over how the wells are constructed. We actually monitor 50 wells throughout our district. Almost all of those wells are residential wells or commercial wells that are being regularly pumped. So with this particular monitoring well, we have sealed off the entire well except the producing interval. So we know exactly where this well is completed. So this gives us some more certainty and some more control over where our data is coming from.
I know that some people think it's a lake down there, but it isn't a lake. There may be big caves down there that are full of water, but the water moves and resides in the holes of the rock.
But in our deeper aquifers, that water's been there for a long time. There's certain age dating techniques that scientists can use to put an age on that water. And we get water that's 30,000 years old down in our aquifers. Once that is removed, there's no water to replace that. There's no recharge in those deeper aquifers.
This is where we spudded the well, and then total depth of the well comes in down here at about 380 feet.
I think that these cores allow us to look at another dimension is what it is. We can see another dimension. If we use the cores, if we use the logs, the material that you saw over there, we use the samples, and if we do the testing, which gives them hydrologic information, data, then we can look at it in a third dimension, and we can get in there and try to understand it.
The main purpose for these wells is to hopefully develop a long-term trend in the aquifer.
If we could pick up enough data, if we could pick up enough information, if we could make the interpretation to the point where we would be able to allow the policymakers to make a better decision. And that's what we're trying to do.
Now, this stage of the game is to try to define what is sustainable and what isn't. And then we begin to refine the rules and regulations of how we go about trying to develop and preserve at the same time all the resources we have.
Bringing awareness to the fact that We all can do something to be better stewards of our water, to conserve water, how these systems work, and what we each can do as individuals to conserve and protect them, to being good stewards of our natural heritage and especially our water.